Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Gyle here, and welcome back to the Forged Alliance Forever promotional series. I've got a 2v2 for you guys and gals today, a particularly high-level one as it happens. Thank you to Brainfart for finding it for me. He's been doing some work recently, trawling through the replay vault, looking for replays that you and I will love. So thank you to him, and thank you to the rest of you as well. The response recently on the replay front has been incredible, and I say this tentatively because I don't want to discourage people from sending me in replays, but I literally have been inundated. So do not despair if I haven't shown your replay yet. I may still do it. I certainly don't cast most of the replays I get sent, but I'm just so backed up on the ones that I plan to cast, it's unreal. But still, keep them coming in, guys. I really do appreciate it. It's always handy for me to have them just in case I hit a dry spell. So it is nice to have, shall we say. So, like I say, 2v2 today. It's going to be between two regulars you'll see, recognize immediately. We've got Tag Uber and Tag Xevo. No strangers there, but also Yamadama and Saduga. Unless you're an old GPG man, these guys may not be immediately familiar to you. And this is an older game as well. This was played back in September on FAF. But these guys used to compete in the Ascendance Phoenix Cup. And if you don't know what that is, that's kind of like the equivalent, the GPG days equivalent of the Worldwide People's Championship. 1v1s, 2v2s, that kind of stuff. Anyway, today's game is going to take place on Darosa's Sanctuary. Darosa? I never know how to pronounce that. But anyway, here it is. And we're going to call the people at the top of the map up here. This is going to be Bracket 1 or Team 1. And down here we've got Team 2. Taking a look at what they're doing. Up here at the top left in the purple slacks, going Aeon, we have Yamadama. He's opening first land and a ton of P-gens. Did you ever see so many queued up for the second round of building? I don't think I personally have. But anyway, you can understand it. I guess there's 7, you've got 7 mass points in the immediate locale, and then plenty more as you head further into the center of the map. So that's the first member of Team 1. The second member of Team 1 is Saduga, and he's going grey UEF, a little bit more conservative on the P-gens, but we can see he's opening first, second, and third land. So going for a heavy land push off the bat. And now to our regulars. Down here at the bottom left for Team 2, our faithful mod Tag Xevo. He's going land, first land, second air, and the blue Cybrin. And his teammate over here at the bottom right is Uber, and he's running the hilarious naming script that senses what you're doing, walking around and fabricating carbon-based matter, that old chestnut. And he's actually opened first air. And the first bombers are actually massing over here. This must have been quite an expensive start. Taking a look at this already, and the dates coincide with this being after the bomber adjustments, when they increased the amount of power that the bomber cost to slow down the harassment for opening bomber strategies. But of course it's a slightly larger map. Taking the first pass, going to drop all their bombs on that land factory and really not cause that much damage at all. Would be great if he could pick up these 3 engineers that are very tightly bunched. He's going to go straight after the power, takes out 4 power plants. That's actually quite sore. That doesn't look nice at all. If I was Saduga, this would be concerning me slightly. You can see he's gone to mass archer production. Definitely the way to go, but oh my god, he's got hardly any power left. Just 2 in the main base and 3 more on the lines that his NGs are producing at the back. 2 of the bombers do get shot down by the archers, just 1 left. If you come in though and take out a few of these engineers, that would be very painful indeed. Uber scoring points all over the shop. You can see the build queues getting dismantled there as those engineers go down. New ones have to be reinstated. So Saduga taking some pretty heavy-handed shots. But though you look at the amount of stuff that he's got on the map, he's still producing okay. It doesn't look like he's been too held up by that. Whereas Uber's micro seems to have taken quite a lot out of him, it would seem. Doesn't actually seem to be that well developed by comparison. So despite that excellent harassment, looks like Saduga is slightly further ahead. You can see the amount of manufacturing facilities he's got online. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Working on his 9th land factory, completely avoiding air altogether. And over on the left-hand side, Xevo is on the move. He's got his commander. He's walking right up the center of the map. Has spotted this engineer from Yama and promptly pops it and then starts working on a land factory. I'm going to call him Yama instead of Dharma because that relates too nastily to Jeffrey Dahmer, and that's a little bit of an avenue we don't really want to be going down. So he's going to be Yama, and perhaps if he ever watches, he can tell me where the origins of that name and what it means, so I don't make such catastrophic errors or references to serial killers anymore. Moving on, we can see Xevo's loading up a transport full of engineers. He's not going to take it anywhere just yet, but then he gets on the move. Where is he taking it? It looks like he's taking it up to assist the commander. Actually, he's not. He's going straight over. That was reassigned to the other side of the ridge, perhaps wanting to work on some of the mass in the middle of the map. We've got a small group of Auroras from Yama heading south, just bypassing the nest from Xevo, who's now on an upgrade. Interesting stuff, and also getting some radar coverage up at the front. Over here on the right, meanwhile, Saduga is massing a pretty nasty force of troops, although that seems to be pretty heavily comprised of archers. Obviously concerned by the amount of harass early on, but he's switched up as well to producing more strikers in there. So that's going to be quite hard to take down. It's going to be interesting to see how Uber responds. And he's not going spam at all. He's gone immediately for tech. Has T2 land factory in place, starting work on an Oblivion turret. And he's also getting some T1 point defense. So we're going to see spam versus tech in the initial phases of this game. Going to split screen because there's stuff happening on two different sides of the battlefield. Xevo's taking some fire from quite a large group of Auroras. It's going to start working on a PD, but that promptly gets popped before it can get finished. I think he's going to have to realistically withdraw. Whatever engineers were placed in here didn't seem to last too long. It doesn't look like there's anything happening on that front. Xevo trying now to get a Cerberus turret, so that was a T2 engineering suite upgrade that he was working on. And meanwhile, over on the right-hand side, the point defense for Uber is getting a nice workout there. And the spam from Saduga deciding not to go too far forward. He's going to harass a little bit with some Lobo fire, manages to take down the middle point defense. At the same time, Xevo finally manages to deal with that spam thanks to that Cerberus turret and a few crucial overcharges. Now coming down on the right-hand side, got a lot of Auroras just bypassing this nest. We're also up to T2 down here in the main base of Xevo. He is producing quite a lot of hoplites. Needs to get a handle on the tide of Auroras which are pouring into his territory. We've got another push coming in from Saduga. However, we've got some long-range support now in the form of the Oblivion turrets. It's going to be very difficult for any of this spam to make any real impact. Uber is in full turtle mode at the moment. He's just producing static D all over the place. It's one of the features, of course, of DeRosa's Sanctuary. You've got a lot of units trying to funnel into small apertures, which makes life difficult for an aggressor, especially at the T1 phase, although he's getting some success here. A few units pouring into the main base. He's working on some build capacity, trying to hamper the expansion of point defenses going in, and he's trying to make a push to the right, but he then looks like he may be deciding against it, feigning left and right. Indecision means that lots of those units get popped. He's going to actually withdraw and regroup maybe at this aperture over here on the left. In the meantime, Xevo is getting some things in place, some defenses. It's got a small T2 shield generator in place. Is now working on a TAC missile launcher. Interesting. So we could be seeing some kind of mass snipage going on. Still troops massing over here on the right for Saduga. He's made a little bit of a run by over here from the units that passed Uber's base and is now moving into Xevo's territory, but they're not going to fare too well against these hoplites which are moving into intercept. Up here can't really see anything of great importance in the main base of Dharma, just working on eco, although having said that, he's up to T2 air, so we're going to see a little bit of a tech switch. We'll see what's happening over here as well. We have got an air factory in place for Saduga, and T3 mass as well going down all over the shop. So in terms of eco, I'm just going to go back to single screen for 2 seconds. I'm going to slow it down and just see where these guys are actually at on the eco front. Reclaim coming in at a steady rate, so it's kind of hard to tell. Seems to be around the 140 mark, I guess, for Saduga. Yama Dharma's at 130. Uber is at 58, and Xevo is on 89. So Team 1 faring very much better on the eco front on this map so far. And again, another little feint from Saduga, just kind of tentatively probing the outer reaches of Xivo's base, not having any real success. There's a nice little group of build capacity moving on the left-hand side, which Saduga could maybe pick up if he gets a couple of units in there, but he's funneling all his units around here. But we've got T3 on the field, so Uber has gone straight for hardcore tech. You can see there it is. Bypass the T2 phase completely. We've got a Harbinger who's just walking into the fray. Little bit of micro. Lobo's not going to catch me, although that was not the best bit of micro. Promptly ends up walking into the shell. Micro too much and end up back where you started. But he's able to single-handedly shoo off that group of units. We see some swift winds over here on the left for Yama, just kind of circling around on top of Xivo's base. Now in pursuit of an interceptor. Don't want to spend too much time there because he's got some burst masters, the static T2 flak for the Cybran. We've actually got some PD going down here as well, so I wonder if we could get involved with some kind of point defense war as these creeps get closer to each other. But Uber now having some success driving the forces back on the right hand side of Saduga. Split two Harbingers, one going on the inside of the map, one going on the outside of the ridge, heading up more directly towards Saduga's base. And a whole lot of factories just got control K'd for Saduga, wanting to give up unnecessary kills, I guess. Let's just start reclaiming those with the engineer. Of course, you don't get anything for reclaiming the first factor, it's only the Rex. So it's probably his motivation for doing that. His engineer is actually coming down the front. He's going to work on that first, which is quite sensible in case the kind of units come up from Uber to try and do the same thing. Harbinger down to around 3,500 hit points, but still managing quite effectively to dismantle these units. However, we've got some broadswords coming in, so Saduga's gone straight for T3 air. I love that tech switch. He's completely changed his game up in the space of about 3 minutes, plowed all of his resources into teching up air, and Uber puts out the call saying that there are T3 gunships on the field, so they need to get a handle on air. And considering we've got T2 air coming out of Yama's side as well, Team 1 suddenly look very strong in the air. We've also got some Spectres in place helping to thin out these groups of hoplites which are approaching Yama's base. I don't think they're going to get too much success. We've also got T3 land out for Yama as well, so the progress of tech in this game is really quite astounding. With 14 minutes in, we're up to T3 land and air on all over the shop. Not actually seeing any T3 air just yet coming out of Team 2. In fact, not even T2 air as far as I can discern it at the moment, which puts Team 2 at a pretty significant tech deficit. We've got ASF, in the air for Saduga. So suddenly this game has just switched on its head out of nowhere, and these broadswords can just go around annihilating build capacity. Another 3 engineers getting caught there, taking out mass points, and Uber once again is looking to probably be hemmed in his base. And we've even got strap bombers out harassing Uber's main base. So Saduga really just schooling Uber here a little bit, which is quite extraordinary. You don't see that happen quite so much. You certainly don't see it usually from a guy with a 0 rating, but of course this is an old GPG pro here who doesn't really get any time to play on FAF, and that's why he doesn't have a rating. But another 3, 4, 5 Harbingers just looking like serious peril, and lots of Spectres coming in down the left-hand side from Yama, taking out engineers. Oh, it's going to be a T2 mass point that doesn't even get completed. There are a few interceptors in the air for Xivo, but there's nothing he's going to be able to do about it compared to those ASFs, and there's strap bombers now circling his base as well. We've got T3 land where Xivo now, so we'll be seeing some bricks on the field, but it's not where the main threat is coming from. Nasty little group of units coming down from Yama as well through the middle of the map, and there's literally nothing to protect Xivo's base. Uber throws up the "we are screwed" comment in allied chat. I kind of think you are, to be honest. See what's going on up here. Nothing really for the moment. What could be Team 2's response? That is the question. Quite extraordinary mass management from Team 1. Very impressive indeed. Really know why these troops weren't progressing forward. Yama's concentration was elsewhere, and now they're just taking static fire from a brick that's outside those obsidian's ranges. It's something you don't really say generally, since I think the plural of obsidian in real life is generally obsidian. He's going to lose all of those just because he wasn't concentrating. He could have just sent those in and literally wrecked the better portion of Xivo's base. Must be doing something of import up here. Actually see a little bit of power transferage that's gone on from Yama to Saduga, so nice little bit of teamwork there. And we've got a fat boy that's been placed and on its way to being built. That is going to cause all kinds of problems for Team 2. It's being constructed alarmingly quickly, and we're seeing Percival's on the field now as well. So he's matched the land tech of Uber. He's countered it quite effectively in the air already. We're now marching some units forward. He's got one or two. He's got two Harbingers in that mix with a couple of Asylums, the shield gens. But that's just not going to be enough against a whole group of Percivals. They will tear through that. A little bit of build capacity from Saduga, marching very ill-advisedly straight towards Uber's troops. And you can see the shield gens just getting annihilated there, affording very little protection indeed. See that fat boy's already half done from Saduga. Queued up an Omni for some nice intel. This back up a notch to see how this game is going to progress. The guys just kind of ecoing for the moment. We've actually got a strat missile defense going down for Yama. Obviously concerned about any desperation nukes coming out from Team 2. Uber's going on a scout. Getting some power up here at the front for Xivo. See what he's actually been doing up front here. He's got the personal stealth generator. I thought I saw that haze on him earlier. And the T3 engineering suite. Interesting. Uber's asking Xivo if he can build a telemasercom. For those of you not too well versed, that means this is a desperation move from Team 2. They have to go for some kind of snipe. Uber wants Xivo to teleport into Saduga or Yama's base, find the comm. Yama's comm's right back up here at the back. And Saduga's, where is it? He's riding in the mix, completely unshielded. Teleport into the base with an upgraded comm and assassinate the comm. Take him out of the running. Or take one of them out of the running. And Uber has seen the fat boy, which is promptly rolling south at all of its best speed. That gets in range. Uber will be in pretty serious trouble. Uber, having scouted, says telemaser's his only opportunity. Comm isn't defended. Finally, we've got a shield going up for Saduga, but he is wide open. Of course, it's not going to stop the commander from teleporting right next to him. Xivo saying, well, when I listen to you, Uber, we usually lose. There's not a great deal of choice to be had as the artillery shells from the Fatty pile in over the ridge into the center of Uber's base. Libyan turrets trading fire with the Percivals. A few Harbingers in there to defend as well. A Harbinger down as the front troops get pretty nasty treatment there from that artillery, and just one pass from those ASFs just knock half of that gunship squadron out of the sky, reminding Uber that it's not sensible to use them right now. And a few more troops out here from Yama as well, a form of Harbingers. They're definitely going for it. You can see Xevo is on the upgrade. I'm going to go to split screen because we want to keep an eye on this. Fat Boy now making a pass to a much better location as far as I'm concerned. Getting a firing solution into the central base. There's so much build capacity on the ground there from Uber. You can start wasting those engineers. Uber will be in a sorry pickle. He's up to 79 kills. And climbing 84, 83, sorry, 84 soon to be. Definitely is their only shot. They lost air control. Their map control has been cut down as a result. Some very nice coverage from Parashields over on the right for Saduga, keeping his Percivals alive. And Uber's losing so many engineers. Uber's now currently scouting Saduga. You can see the air lifting off, trying to get the latest solution on the location of Saduga's comm. They need to take it out fast now, especially since there's Percivals in the mix. He's charging his comm over there on the left, and it's going to pop up right next door to Saduga, firing the laser. Saduga did have an upgraded shield, so he sensed something was coming. Starts trying to produce some T1 PD. It's going to be too late. Saduga goes down. A very nice and confident snipe there from Xevo. That may, and I say may, have saved Team 2. There's still an awful lot of units in the base. Is auto give on is the question. Is it on share until death, or is it on full share? It's on share until death. So all of those units of Saduga's go pop. No longer under Yama's control. It's now 2v1. And this is going to be interesting to see how Yama responds. He's been a little bit quiet lately. Hasn't needed to do too much since they basically had it in the bag. But there's also a lot of T3 on the ground. He's got a decent amount of ASFs as well, so just losing Saduga hasn't given up air control. Is that TAC missiles coming in from Yama? What is that going for? I don't even know what that's going for. All of that stuff has been suddenly transferred over to Uber. Not sure exactly why. To what end. But Xevo has got his comm safely back over on the left-hand side. He's trying to produce a Monkey Lord. Spamming up quite quickly. It's intriguing how he's getting the mass for it. I suppose he's got a few mass points left still. A few T3 ones. But this group of Harbingers just wrecking Xevo's old base, now currently in Uber's hands. He's got a nice composition of units there, Yama. He's got some flak, he's got a Asylum shield for coverage. And Harbingers on the ground for damage. Lots of Loyalists have suddenly come off the conveyor belt, but it's not enough to contend with the Harbingers. Just eradicate them with ease. Trying to work on some Cerberus PD, but they're not going to go down. It's going to lose build capacity as well, so that's going to be the end of that base. Monkey Lord, however, is very nearly done. It's going to be interesting to see where he sends it. And Uber's been unable to capitalize on this base at the top. Yama is guarding it and all of its mass very carefully. A few more gunships coming in, a few more Spectres from Uber. Perhaps trying to do something about the tied units, but I don't really think he's going to be able to do anything, not with the amount of flak that's kicking about under those shields. Just gifting more kills, really. That is the end of that base. So despite taking out Saduga, Yama at the moment looks just too strong. Monkey Lord has finished. Another one is under construction. Uber saying try and take back your base. He has got a Monkey Lord, so he can try and do something about that. And Uber is going to try and take Saduga's. But I don't think he's going to be able to, not with the amount of air power that Yama's got. See, he's put an awful lot of Ascendants in the mix to deal with those gunships, but at the same time, Yama's moving all of his T3 ground, or most of his T3 ground to the right. We've got a little queue of Strat Bombers queuing up as well, so there could potentially be a snipe on the cards. Finally, we've got contact from the Monkey Lord that's going to start hoovering up some of these Harbingers, but not as quickly as it would like. There's a lot of them there, and it's actually kind of wrecking them. It gets the Asylum, or a couple of Asylums, into the mix, which blocked the laser for a minute. And a nice little bit of micro from Yama, bringing the Harbingers around the back to avoid that laser, means that they managed to finish it off. And there's still a few units in there to worry Xevo. He can't just go in there and claim it back. And now at the same time, we've got a few units from Uber that have made their way up the right-hand side of the map, trying to take back, or I say take back, but take this base. Managing to counter the Restorer. But they're going to have a hard time dealing with the Harbingers that are coming in. There's already some engineers above them on the ground, hoovering up this mass for Yama. I think that's going to be a very one-sided victory in the end. He actually tries to get the engineers back out, but doesn't manage it, as those units from Uber scoot north to the top corner. And now some spy planes just flying over the top of Xevo's forward base, or I say forward base, his only base. And there's quite a lot of Strat Bombers on the field now for Yama. Things not looking good for Team 2 at all. Just the odd ASF in place for Xevo. That's not going to afford him much protection at all. And away go the ASFs. He's going to lead with those first. Take out any defending ASFs he can. There it goes. And in come the Strat Bombers. Slow this up. Bombs away. First volley impacting on the shield. Oh my god. 300 hit points. Xevo takes a huge volley. Starts moving again to get under the coverage of some more shields. A lot of defending interceptors, or sorry, ASFs come in from Uber to try and take out the remaining Strat Bombers, but I don't think it's going to be enough. It's not. The shields were just too poorly upgraded. And there goes Xevo. It is now a one-on-one, with I think the advantage firmly in Yama's hands. We've got a Caesar. I don't believe it. It's on its way to the bottom right. And this could be game. He hasn't got enough to do. You can see a GC has just been constructed in Uber's main base. Uber can't believe it. It's been spamming out ASFs. Xevo said he should have sent that Monkey Lord when he had the chance. Guess he's talking about straight up to try and breach Yama, but there's so many Oblivion turrets on the ground, I didn't think it would have had any luck at all. Strat Bombers coming in, going straight after the build capacity surrounding the air factory, trying to keep air production down to a minimum. But he's got nothing in terms of air defense. It's all flak. He's got no SAMs to deal with that. Caesar, it can just hover over the top, do what damage it's like. If it does end up getting shot down, it's probably going to land on Uber's face. Oh! Intermittent shield blinking, saving Uber for a moment, but I don't think it's going to do too much. Kaflooey. Very strong game indeed there from Team 1, and to do that against Uber and Xevo, that's no small feat. Well, I hope you enjoyed that, guys. I certainly did. There's more to come from me in the future. Like I say, I know I was saying I've been inundated with replays. Please keep them coming in, though, because I always enjoy watching your games. Anyway, from now, that's enough from me. In the meantime, stay well and stay safe. This is Gyle signing out.